Hey, what's up? I'm Harry King Holmes, your Instagram DM ads and sales coach. Listen, today we are diving into something that every single online fitness and wellness coach needs to hear. Most definitely, especially if you're selling an online women's transformation offer between the price point of $1,500 and $5,000. Listen, we're going to break down the real reason why you're getting let me think about it, or let me pray on it on sales calls, or leads are leaving you on red in the DM, not booking calls, canceling them, no shows when they actually do book the calls, right? Even when you know your content is good and your program is good, it's delivering results. Listen, it's not your content, it's not your offer, it's not your program. It's the definition of value, your definition of value, right? And your consumers, your customers' definition of value, and how and where you're communicating it here in 2025. All right. So let's talk about it, man. Right. So let's get straight to it. Okay. So listen, I want to first address why value has evolved here in 2025. The market has changed. People, especially women, they aren't buying like they were in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and even some of 2024. And what I mean by they aren't buying like they were, one, they're buying more products and services now. It's just that the buying decision is differently, especially if you have a transformation coaching offer priced at $1,500 to $5,000 or more, right? So like back then, value meant results in X amount of days, before and afters, features, benefits, entertainment, right? But here in 2025, so like first what I want to address, well, I want you to kind of think of your person, because in order to really understand the psychology of your person, you have to express empathy and actually take the time to put yourself in your person's shoes and view value from their point of view, right? So when we think about value, you may have this your own perception of what value is from your point of view as the CEO and as the coach, right? Or should I say, from the coach's point of view. But I want you to view value from your person's point of view, from her point of view here in 2025. All right. And this is probably what she's saying in 2025 and beyond, right? I need more than promises. I need to feel like you understand me. Okay. So for her, when we're talking about a high touch coaching offer, meaning that she's going to get high touch points from you on a daily and weekly basis. She's going to jump on Zoom calls with you. She's going to express to you, because like when we talk about these clients in the coaching container, we want them to show up, ask questions when life starts to life. You know what I'm saying? When things start to go south for her and she starts to these habits of self-doubt, self-sabotage starts to come up, you want your client to already be activated and expect that when I'm going through this emotional turmoil, that I have somebody that can guide me through this and still allow me to get to my destination, right? So especially if you're servicing women over the age of 35, women between like 35 and 60 years old or even older, right? They want more than just promises. They need to feel like you understand them, right? So value means emotional clarity, right? The questions that she's asking herself, right? And also, just to give you context, so I partner with a faith and fitness coaching offer for women in leadership and in corporate, right? And most of these women are over the age of 40, between the ages like 40 and like 53, right? They're in careers, they're in leadership positions, either in their career or in ministry. Most of them are moms, most of them are married, some of them are single, right? But these are some of the questions that they're asking, right? Or some of the things that they're wondering. They're saying things like, do I feel seen? Do I trust her leadership? Right? Because the young lady that I'm partnered with, she's a woman herself. Okay. So these are questions that they're asking. Do I feel seen by her? Do I trust her leadership? Can I see myself in her container, in her coaching container? Is her community in alignment with, the type of identity that I want to build for myself? And does it meet me where I'm at right now, and gives me the ability to get to that current that next level identity that I want to go to, So the buyer is more self-aware now of what they want in a coaching container. You know what I'm saying? They've purchased different low ticket programs, the PDFs. Even now, right? If you're in a fitness and wellness space and you're, fitness, wellness, or health coach, Ozempic's a thing now, but also women have tried Ozempic. If you have somebody that's your aligned client, she probably has friends, co-workers, or family members that have tried Ozempic and either had a bad experience with it. I'm pretty sure that some of you guys are hearing people having bad experience with it. They get on Ozempic and then they go to the hospital and then they find out, you know what, I don't want to go that route. So if your person is somebody that doesn't want to do the Ozempic route, they want to do the natural route, right? They probably experience from other people that are close to them, I don't want to do it that way, right? So people are much more educated and smarter on what's going on in the fitness and wellness space. Okay, so they're more self-aware of what they need. So that means they're searching for a different solution that's aligned with their needs and who they want to become. So they are searching so if they come across your content, those are things that they're looking for when it comes to value in their point of view, value in their mind. Okay, so they're not just paying for coaching, they're investing in confidence, certainty, and identity alignment. Let me say that one more time. Now in 2025, they're not just paying for coaching, they're investing in confidence, certainty, and identity alignment. Okay? So what value means in today's market, your prospect doesn't just want information. She wants to feel safe. She wants to know that she could see herself in your story. She wants to feel emotionally understood, spiritually led, before she even gets on a sales call, right? So because today's buyer is buying certainty, not just coaching, okay? And this is what I mean by before I get on a sales call, because sometimes what I'll see some people do is they'll do this in their content and then stop there. So I want to talk about that too. If you're servicing women who consider themselves high achieving women, and they've done things in their career, they've done things in their community, they've done things for themselves, right? The Chicago gonna come out of me, but she ain't a goofy. All right, she is not a goofy. Anybody can put anything on social media. It's edited, right? So she understands that. So one thing that she is looking for as well is not just do she feel emotionally understood and spiritually led when she consumes your content, because that's publicly, right? But what has happened privately? So if you're getting people to leave your DMs on red, or book a call from the DMs, and then they cancel the calls or they don't show up on the calls, or if you actually do get somebody to a call and you make them an offer and they're like, let me think about it, let me pray on it. The reality is that she doesn't feel emotionally understood and spiritually led in real time with you. It is not saying that you don't have the ability to. It's just that sometimes people drop the ball when it comes to showing up privately and showing up privately in real time, right? Because that's a transfer of energy that she wants to feel. You get what I'm saying? She wants to feel that energy from you, not just when she consumes your content. The content is the thing that got her to want to have a conversation with you and book a call. But when it comes to being able to, does she feel emotionally and spiritually led by you? She needs to feel like she can follow you and you can lead her, right? And the only way to lead her is if the energy that she gets from you, right? Not just from a logical standpoint, before we get to the logical decision, emotionally, energetically, She needs to feel like I'm covered. How you communicate your value in the DMs and how you communicate your value in your sales system and on these sales calls is just as important when it comes to the content. So this is a whole ecosystem that's allowing this woman to make a buying decision. Okay. So those are some of the things that they're asking. They're like, do you see me as a whole woman? Do you know what I've already tried and how it makes me feel and how frustrated I am? Right? You know, can you speak to what's really stopping her beyond the food, beyond the workout, beyond the walks, you know, beyond the meditation, beyond those things, you know? Can you lead me without shaming me? Because let's be real, she sees a lot of body shaming, a lot of fat shaming on social media, right? Like the whole big back trend, you know, that a lot of like fitness influencers and trainers they are doing, right? So she doesn't want to work with somebody like that. If she's had this problem, if she's a woman who's 45 years old, she's probably had this problem for 20 plus years. So why would she want to work with somebody that is going to shame her for the problem that she has? That's not going to move her emotionally. She doesn't feel emotionally understood or spiritually led from that, right? You know, and sometimes you may see that type of content and see the views and see the engagement and think that you need to do that, right? But we gotta remind yourself of what the mission is, what the purpose is, and think about your person from their point of view. What is value from their point of view, right? And can you remind me of who I am when I forget? Right? You know, so not just who she is currently, but who she's working on becoming. Because the reality is she will forget. And even when she's consuming your content and even when she's going through your sales system, she will forget. So you need to have everything congruent from the content to the sales system to when you show up in real time with her, reminding her of who she's working on becoming. So let's talk about, you know, how she has already created this identity around everything and everybody that's around her. If she's 45 years of age, right, and she has this problem, her current identity has been based around her kids, her spouse, her family, her career, her community, her church home. It's been based around all of these things. She puts all of those things first and puts herself on the back burner. So do you understand how that's affecting her right now? Because it's not saying that those things aren't important, you know, but do you truly understand what she has been going through these past 20 plus years, 10 years, 30 years, however long she's had the problem, and how that has created the current identity that she has, and how her new identity, the best version of herself, needs to be created around her as the top priority. Because at this moment, her level of self-awareness, she already understands. She knows God has already told her that she needs to be the top priority. But that is going to take some time and some accountability and some support and some reminders of who she is and who she's looking to become. This is what she's looking for in a coaching container. So everything from the content to the sales systems to how you show up in real time needs to be based around the identity of what she's created and the identity that she's looking to create. All right. So let's talk about some signs that you're still selling the old way. You're still communicating value the old way. So here's how you know if you're still operating the old version of value, right? So you're explaining everything when you get on a sales call. All right. You're getting ghosted after they say, let me pray on it. You feel emotionally drained after calls, right? Or after being in the DMs, you just feel like emotionally drained because you're not getting the result that you want consistently. And then the conversations is just pulling from you because in all of these private sales conversations and sales activities, you are pretty much convincing people of your value compared to persuading them to make a decision because they've already seen the value, right? And you're educating your content, but you're not activating. You've probably built a great program, But the market isn't moved by just your social proof, right? Social proof is important. Your authority is important. Before and afters, client testimonials, client reviews, those things are important, okay? But also what is going to make the sales a lot easier, what is going to allow the prospect to make a much more confident and certain buying decision. They're moved by their perception of your value before the call. So all the other value things, and I'm gonna break this down in a couple of steps for you, like a value framework, if you stay to the end. This way you understand, on top of the logical proof of concept that you have, we also need the emotional proof of concept, which is your leadership. All right. So what value means now is we got to redefine it for you. Value is when your aligned client sees themselves in your ad, to your DM, to your content, to your sales system, to when they show up in real time on a Zoom call with you. All right. Value is when they show up already knowing the beliefs they need to shift, right? Because imagine if somebody shows up to a sales call and they don't know the beliefs they need to shift. This is why you feel like you got to convince people of things. You have to force them to believe things on these sales calls, right? But when the value is already presented to them, they already are ready and it accepted the responsibility to shift this mindset, to shift this belief. And they know that your unique mechanism is going to help them through that shift. Value is when your message coaches them into their next level identity before they ever jump on a Zoom call with you. Okay. So what does that mean for you here in 2025, right? Like, what she really needs to do is believe in herself again and trust that you're the person to walk with her, and your mechanism is the best solution that's aligned with this walk and aligned with the destination that she's trying to go to. Okay, so these are, and listen, like I said, this is not just showing up and taking place inside of the content, but more importantly, it's how you show up in real time, DM conversations, Zoom calls, live streams, raw and unfiltered, because that's what coaching is going to look like for her. Like coaching, like you can't edit anything when you're on that Zoom call with her. You know what I'm saying? Like that's raw, unfiltered. And that's when you show up as your best self, not when it's edited, because she knows that a piece of content can be edited, right? But if we make a mistake with her well-being, with her fitness, right? Because you're not a good decision maker. This is why showing up privately in real time on these Zoom calls and communicating your value and your messaging in real time is just as important, probably even more important. And this is why sales feel heavy, because without a sales system based around your paid ads and your organic content, this is what's happening. You're attracting unaligned leads. Or let me say this. It feels like you're attracting unaligned leads, right? But what's really happening is you're not aligning these leads in your sales process. All right. Or aligned ones, like you'll get aligned leads, but they still feel unsure. So anytime somebody comes and tells me and they're like, hey, like I'm running ads or I'm doing this and I'm just not getting qualified leads, 98% of the time, it's because they're actually getting aligned leads, but those aligned leads, those qualified leads, they do not feel sure. And a lot of that is happening in a DM. Guess what's going to happen? They're not going to book a call. You know, and then you may even get some people to book a call, but if you make them an offer and they feel unsure, what's going to happen? They're not going to sign up. I'll think about it, I'll pray on it, or just smoke and mirrors for I don't feel certain that this is aligned with where I want to go and the type of coaching that I want to receive. Or I can't afford it, or I don't have the money. Those are all smoke and mirrors for uncertainty from the prospect. Okay. And this is why this creates pressure in your sales process, and you feel like you're carrying their indecision plus your conviction. That's exhausting, and it's definitely not sustainable. Okay. And this is what I want you to know. It's not your price. It's not your lead quality. It's your pre-sale positioning. I'm gonna say it again. It is not your price. It is not your lead quality. It is your pre-sales positioning. All right, so let's break down this value framework that you can use here in 2025 and beyond. And this is everything that happens before you make an offer. So not just in the content, but everything from the content, from the ads, to your content, to your DMs, to your sales system, to the actual sales call when you make an offer. All right, so not just the content, but the whole ecosystem. All right, so number one, emotional safety. She wants to feel like you get her, that she's not just another client or another body in a transformation photo. Number two, certainty in your process, right? Like your sales call isn't about pressure, it's about transferring belief. All right. So you have to have a very, very high level of belief in what you're doing inside of your coaching container and know that as long as this person is aligned, that this is the best decision for them to make and truly, truly, truly believe in that. All right. Now, number three, trust in your conviction. She can feel your energy is off. All right. So when you're unsure, that weakens the offer, not the features. Okay. So number four, proximity is power. She's paying for support. She's paying for touch points for you to lead her through her hardest weeks. One thing I like to do when I'm on a sales call, I like to let her know, I like to be real with her. You're going to have hard weeks. But this is what me and my team is here for. You have close proximity to us. You can reach us. You can book a call. You have myself. You have your accountability coach, right? So she feels like when times do get rough and life starts to life, she is covered. All right. Number five, identity work. She's stepping into a new version of herself. And listen, she's scared. So she needs to know you can hold space for her evolution. Keep in mind, this is happening from the ad to the DM, to the organic content, to the sales system, to the when they show up to the sale call. This is covering all of that. All right. And then spiritual alignment. If her values are tied to her decisions, your messaging and energy needs to reflect alignment with her faith. Now, number seven, ease plus structure. A lot of these women, if they're busy and they have a lot going on with their careers, with their spouse, with their homes, right? They usually use their schedule as an excuse. So can your system actually save her time and stress, not add to it? Because what I'll see sometimes is they won't market it or articulate how their program can save her time and less stress. Or when they enroll that client, they overwhelm them, right, with 10 things to do because that person paid you a lot of money. So you think you need to give them more to do. And what that happens is she shuts down. And when she shuts down, she's no longer activated inside of the coaching container. So what do you think is going to happen? Clients start to churn out. You're going to have payments being failed and people not wanting to be inside of your program. So we don't want that. And if you're already listening to this video and you're here at this point, you probably don't have that problem. Emotional result over the physical result, right? Now we want both. She definitely wants both, right? But the real result she wants isn't just a smaller waist or to lose, 50 to 100 pounds. It's peace, it's pride, it's confidence, leadership in her own life, right? And if she is a woman of God, she knows that her temple, her body needs to be in alignment with being obedient to what God has called her to do. And she knows that God don't want her walking around with this extra weight, and feeling not just physically overweight, but emotionally overweight. Now, listen, if you're tired of consistently having to convince people of your value in the DM and on sales calls, here's what I want you to do. All right. So audit your content. Is it speaking to your aligned clients' current beliefs and their next level beliefs? So number two, audit your sales process. Are you showing up too late in the buyer journey? Because if you are showing up too late in the buyer journey, what's going to make this a lot easier is number three, implementing a sales system that builds belief before you even make an offer to them on a Zoom call. Now listen, we teach this inside of our coaching program, Convert to Scale, with our self-selling sales system. All right. And also not just as far as like the strategy, right? How you need to show up as a CEO using our aligned CEO mindset blueprint. So let me leave you with this. You don't need to hustle. You don't need to post 3 times a day. You just need the right messaging with the right sales system that reflect the value your audience is actually searching for in 2025. Now listen, don't forget to follow and subscribe, all right? And if you are an online fitness or wellness coach and you have a transformation offer that services women and is priced at $1,000 to $5,000 or more, listen, I got some good stuff inside of the description. There's be some links there on how you can get a little bit more information about what we do and see if we can actually help your business or get some freebies. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.